We done? Okay, well. I call this smart board meeting to order. Madam Stephanie, roll call, please.
Would you like
I think we're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I thought, oh, you have, okay, we'll do that too. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chairman Abdul Haddis,
Present.
Vice Chairperson John Paul Rea,
Present.
Ms. Hillary Chambers,
Present.
Ms. Sheila Cote,
Present.
Dr. Curtis Ivory is excused absence, Mr. Royce Manico,
Here.
Mr. Britt Reads again.
Present.
Thank you. Next item, adoption of the agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, motion carried. Item 5, certification of public notice. Martin,
Smart will hold the May 23rd, 2024 Board of Directors meeting at 2 p.m. in the Beal Building located at 535 Griswold Street, Suite 600, Detroit, Michigan 48226. This meeting is open to the public.
thank you. Item 6. 6A, board meeting minute for March 28, 2024.
Make a motion to approve the board meeting minutes as presented, Mr. Chair. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Here none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carries. Item 6B, executive session minute for March 28, 24.
Make a motion to approve as presented, Mr. Chair.
I'll support it. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carried. Item 7, public participation. Anybody from the public like to come and step to the podium and state your name and your address, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon to members of the board, staff, and public. My name is Robert Plowski. I'm a longtime transit activist, and I'm the vice chair for the Regional Transit Authority Citizens Advisory Committee. I know it's a bit of a month late, but happy 492 day, actually, and it's perfect day to get out on the bus and ride around Rochester. I actually had the pleasure with some of my friends, colleagues, and transit activist Lucas right behind me to be on the first Route 492 going into Rochester the day of the opening. It was, I think, one of the most best experiences, especially a long time coming for us as advocates, especially our Oakland County folks that are very passionate about routes and transit going into Rochester Hills. So I would like to give a big shout out to Harmony, her team, and also Bernard Parker, our external affairs, for all of the coordination with the teams and just promoting it and getting out doing news interviews with all the stations. It really means a lot for us advocates to really fight for us, and this is a long time coming. With all the major progress in which I'm seeing our June service changes here in our agenda, there's tons of great projects going on, especially the most recent news about a possible Wayne County countywide ballot proposal in the county, proposed at the Detroit Regional Chamber from Warren Evans. I asked this board, for all of us that are transit activists and very supportive of transit, this board to take in consideration that this is not just bridging the gap of transit here in our community. It's going to grow business not just in Oakland County, Macomb County. It's going to grow business in Wayne County. It's going to draw more jobs, more residents, and investment here in our state. I asked this board to really take this in consideration, maybe looking at resolutions or even talking with local leaders in the county. We have Chairman Haddis that's very supported over here of a countywide ballot proposal, but there's more steps that need to be done. If we want to continue to grow transit here in our area, we have to look at the bigger picture. I'm just out on the front line going out talking with riders. It's more than that. So again, thank you so much for all the amazing work you're doing fighting for us and looking at new ways to invest in transit, especially in Oakland County. But we need to think towards the future, and we need to give Wayne County a push for transportation here in our state. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the audience like to speak to the board?
Am I on? Good morning. Good afternoon. Mike Rayner, Chesterfield Township. Greetings to the board and all of your support folks. I was anxious to get up here because it's always good when you hear good news and compliments, right? Rather than complaints. So I was really excited the other day when, a couple of days ago, when Sean called me from Harmony's area. She had referred me to him a long time ago, and he's been a great coordinator with the things I'm trying to do in my community of Chesterfield Township. So they responded to a request that we made from Chesterfield Township back in November to review some of our issues with our bus service, primarily on Gratiot Avenue, which is our primary north-south route. So with the help of Karen Garby and with the support team here in here at SMART, we came up with some tremendous improvements. We're going to have additional well, I'll start with the most important one, because with me, it's primarily all about jobs. There are many, many jobs that are available on 23 Mile Road, primarily in the west area, going like from Romeo Plank to Van Dyke. And also we need transportation from Gratiot to the industrial complex that's about a half a mile down. So anyway, that service will be happening, which is just awesome. Many, many jobs are available down there, and I'm really excited. On Gratiot, we're going to have additional shelters. We're going to have benches so they don't throw away my benches anymore. And one of the main things we're going to have too is we're going to have a lighted crosswalk because the way the bus stops are now, and they're going to be relocated, there's a lot of jaywalking that occurs, and we've had some serious accidents. So some of the stops will be repositioned, and a lighted crosswalk will be part of it, so that those riders that are coming north that have to cross over to the west side of Gratiot will not be in danger anymore. That's really the most important thing. Two quick things, though, that we're still working on. Adopt a Stop is not happening. I have a big issue, and a big part of my time is spent trying to maintain the bus stops along the way. And we have poor participation, probably because our marketing isn't as strong as it should be, to get groups to adopt the stops, like the veterans, perhaps the scouts. So we really do that because we have a real maintenance problem there. And good talking to Mark Starnes, who's another great support person. He said we have 2 people coming on board, which will make it a little bit easier to maintain the many, many shelters that we have. So we need big help there, including a power washer. I can't do it with a hose or with the broom. So thank you so much. I'm really very, very grateful for that information. And we're going to take the next step and see if we can improve further. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else from the audience like to comment? Please take the podium.
Hi there, folks. Lucas Lasecki from Farmington Hills with Transportation Riders United. I know you've got a pretty long agenda today, so I'll keep my remarks brief. I just wanted to, for one, congratulate SMART, the staff and the board on the so far very smooth launch of Route 492 and the expansion of service into Rochester. Great marketing. Got to hand it to you, Bernard. The ads were amazing. And it's run pretty well so far. Rob and I, like we said, we were on the very first run, and I've ridden it quite a few times since. So it's been very nice having the new service. And I'm also excited by the news, the suggestion by County Executive Evans to potentially have Wayne County brought all in on public transit in some form, hopefully SMART this fall. I'd be very excited to be a part of making that happen, like I was with Oakland a couple of years ago. And well, my suggestion of SMART would be start preparing, because this could potentially be big, and you've already got a lot straining you. So do whatever you can now to prepare, I suppose. But I'm hopeful that things are starting to really look up at SMART with new service coming on in the next run pick. potential new funding sources with SOAR reform. I don't want to comment too much on that, but there may be quite a bit more state money freed up for transit in the near future. And I'm hopeful that the driver shortage can be closer to resolution soon. I know that some things are out of SMART's hands. I understand now, but I guess my hope is with you for success. That's all I really can say. Okay, I'll shut up now. I've talked enough, but thank you again for all that you've done.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, well,
Hello, pardon me. Hello, my name is Stephen Hammondtree from East Point. I just wanted to echo the congratulations on the 492 launch. There is one thing I wanted to say about it, and that is that it was slightly rocky with not all the bus stop signs up in time. I rode with some friends on the first day, and the bus stop nearest their house wasn't actually up yet. Driver still let us off there though when we asked. But they seemed to like it, and I liked it, and I've been looking forward to it for a long time. And I'm excited for what June's going to bring as well. Thank you very much.
thank you. Anybody else?
Good afternoon, board. My name is Samaj. I'm Richardson. I'm out of Sterling Heights, Michigan. I'm actually a current SMART employee, a driver. Just came today to speak on a couple issues. Number one, regarding the contract. You know, SMART drivers, we've been working without a contract for over 18 months now. I know both sides are still negotiating, but SMART drivers, we feel as though the company is trying to make drastic changes to 80 plus items on a 49 article contract. It's pretty ridiculous, unheard of. Some of the changes SMART administration is trying to include removing the pension from the new employees, trying to punish drivers for calling off on sick on their off day, and only offering drivers a $1,500 signing bonus after waiting nearly 18 months is not right. Most drivers, if you do the calculations, have already missed out on upwards of $10,000 or more in missed raises that was promised to us. If the contract takes any longer to negotiate, the new contract will be here. We have to start negotiating that at the end of 2025. Also, only offering a good attendance bonus of 45 cents per hour, and you can't miss any time off like bereavement, vacation time is unheard of as well. DDOT has implemented a $1,500 per quarter bonus to their drivers for attendance. They can miss up to 3 days, but as long as they meet the standard 450-hour minimum requirement, then they are eligible for the bonus. So why can't SMART think about something like that to kind of reward the drivers instead of punishing? Number two is safety issues on buses. We're still having multiple safety issues on our buses that causes delays in service or missed route times. When we do encounter issues, we do write them up. We do place the buses back, in the write-up lane, but the buses are beating us back inside the terminal garage without the issues being resolved. Meanwhile, it's just us, the drivers, that are on the front lines, while the public are asking us, why are you late? Or asking, why aren't we coming to work? We care about picking up our passengers and we care about our jobs, but we can only do so with safe, reliable working equipment. Please stop telling the public that we have a driver shortage and that's why the buses didn't show up. We have drivers doing double time or even taking on multiple shifts per week to make sure there's not a ghost bus with missing buses. We only have to cut maybe a few runs here and there. That's out of my terminal. Also, any given day, we have upwards of 10 to 15 operators that are waiting on buses to go out on their PM shift because we have a lack of buses, and also we're waiting on AM buses to come back in. That's not a driver's problem. Number three, morale. Morale at SMART is at an all-time low, coming from a few senior drivers. About 5 to 10 years ago, we used to have picnics, company outings at Belle Isle, bowling activities. Now it's down to nothing. So is it possible, can we please look into bringing back a family atmosphere back to SMART? That will go a long way to, making the drivers and all the employees of SMART just feel like we're important and we're being heard. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. And again, I love my job and I love working for SMART. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gloria Williams. I'm a fixed operator driver at Oakland Terminal. I'm here because of safety. 75% of the buses only have one triangle. Some of them have two, some have none. One of my coworkers didn't check her bus broke down. She had no hazard lights. A road supervisor had to come behind her with hazard lights for her safety. We ride these buses every single day without triangles. That's part of our pre-trip. If you call Central, Central will tell you, is the bus running? Yes, it's running. Proceed on, driver. We're not supposed to be out there without triangles when this bus break down. Our buses break down all the time. I need to know whose number or email that I can talk to somebody about this safety issue. I came from driving a school bus for 18 years and they drilled safety in us. Safety is first, but not with SMART. It's not first, not at least not at my terminal. So right now I give SMART a D- as far as with safety. Can you please help us? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Smart Board and rest of the people. Hey, my name is Steve Coates. I'm a Macomb operator, been here 16 years. I think Smart has been I think has to be the worst management that I've ever been under here at Smart. You go to individuals asking for bathroom breaks. Nobody can give you a definite answer on where we're using the bathroom. We out there 4 o'clock in the morning. People are being written up for using the bathroom, for just on the bus. But when we don't have any places out there for us to go, and you know, if you use the restroom outside of the bus and the police catch you, you on the sex predator list. So I'm asking Smart Board, since no one could give me a definitive answer on where we should or where we could go to 4 o'clock in the morning to use, or in the middle of the night to use the restroom. Secondly, I have spoken to several individuals about safety. Safety is in 2 ways. Safety's the temporary shield that we have up that's standing over the fare box. Those shields creates blind spots for us. And those shields create us turning the corner and not seeing the old lady that's turning the corner or the young man that's trying to switch lanes and we end up running into him and then we're deemed with an accident. And thirdly, I was a part of what was it? Of a gentleman calling into Smart saying how he was going to kill me. And this guy called into Smart 3 times in one day. And nothing has been done to this gentleman. This guy is on the bus on a daily basis. And I see this guy. I mean, how am I supposed to operate or be able to conduct driving with somebody that possibly is wearing a mask that comes out and telling, the people downtown that he's going to kill me. You are going to come to my funeral, but nothing's done to him. He was just on my bus the other day. And the police came to remove him. But not only that, it was a slap in the face when you see a road supervisor point at the guy and tell the guy, hey, come on, I'll take you wherever you need to go. More concerned about this passenger than the Smart employee. And I'm not understanding this. And we are here on a daily basis trying to keep everybody happy, whether it be the board, whatever current employee that's here. But I just think it's unfair to us to have to go up or operate under these type of conditions. And I sent a letter or email to Mr. Farrell, and no, I've yet had a response come to me about the safety issue. And that'd be it.
Thank you.
Hi, to the public and Smart Board of Directors. My name is Joseph Valdez of Ferndale, Michigan. I'm an avid rider of the Smart Bus System as well as DDOT, and I also run a Facebook group called Smart Bus Riders. I came today to speak on a few issues that I'm seeing as a passenger on the bus. Contract, the first one, driver contract. As I'm listening to the last couple speakers, one of your drivers stated that they have been waiting for a fair contract for Smart for 18 months. Wow, that is really ridiculous that they have to wait so long for a fair, honest contract. I see drivers every day and actually ride with some of them here. Very nice and helpful, but I can see that they are disappointed. As person, I'm disappointed waiting on the new contract and how long it's taken. Why is Mr. Farrell trying to take the pension plan away from new employees coming in the day that we're living in, that there are not too many jobs offering a pension? And I'm willing to bet if you ask the new hires, why are they coming to Smart, not other places, is because of the pension plan. Also, DDOT has increased their driver top pay to 26 an hour with a quarterly attendance bonus of $1,500 for coming to work. It seems as the Smart drivers are saying you guys are trying to punish them instead of rewarding them, which is really sad. Smart board directors, tell Mr. Farrell to take a page out of DDOT handbook, show appreciation for the drivers, goes a long way. It really does. The second, customer service. Sometimes when I call customer service with complaints or information for missing buses, sometimes we get hung up on. I've actually had that happen. False information. Example, customer service will say the driver didn't show up for lack of manpower, but when the next bus shows up or hour later, they say they have been waiting in terminal for a bus for a couple hours. Why are drivers waiting for a bus in the terminal? Are you guys a transportation company or what? So it seems like we are getting lied to by customer service because the drivers are saying they are waiting on buses for the PM shift or the bus are breaking down on the road. Does the Smart know how to fix the buses or what? On average, about 3 times a week. Actually, last week I waited about 3 fast buses didn't show up. Stop blaming drivers for mechanical issues. Also, I heard that mechanic unions are still waiting on their contracts. There's another one waiting for a contract. Maybe that's why drivers can't get the buses they need, because Smart is stalling on the mechanics contract as well. It's a bad look for the place of Smart. Pass an honest and fair contract along to drivers and mechanics unions so they can have proper equipment and feel good about coming to work. 3, cleaning of the buses. Board directors, when's the last time you actually got out there and rolled the bus? Some of these buses are downright disgusting. I got bad allergies. They used to have what do you call that, hand sanitizer on it. You could look at. I was on a bus the other day and the rail was black. That don't make any sense. And are the bus cleaners wearing on the new contract as well? Excuse me, my allergies. It seems all the issues are coming from Smart installing a new fair contract. So pass these contracts, man. Get to work. Thank you. And the 492 is a good route. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Atia, ATIA. I'm out of Oakland. I'd like to address 2 concerns today, and that's the health of the drivers and our families at home. I brought it to my terminal manager's attention that my daughter was having surgery. I was told I couldn't get the day off. Sad, right? The second thing is I was hospitalized, and they told me they would take it into consideration to take the absences away, but I still was hit with a miss and an absence occurrence because I couldn't call in. Having this meeting with her, she told me that she's been here 25 years and that I should take my job more seriously. And that if I'm so sick, I should have called in first or waited to seek treatment until I talked to my supervisor. which is disheartening at best. So I am currently looking for another job because if I can't be sick and you can't understand, I can't drive the bus. Have a good day.
Hey, I'm sorry, board, just one more thing. Hey, I wanted you, Mr. Farrell, personally, or the board personally, to look into, we've been having a great deal of mismanagement with union funds. And when I say it's a great deal, we're down at a negative 64, we were down to a negative $6,400. But I've been reaching out to other agencies to see what I need to do. But I just said that I would leave it to SMART to see if SMART can do it because, you know, the president and the financial secretary was caught driving flex on SMART's time because SMART pays the union president and the financial secretary's salary. And I don't think that we should be continuing on this contract with the current president and financial secretary because we think that it's a conflict of interest because, you know, this guy should have been fired because I remember when I was at SMART, when I first started, a young lady got caught for actually stealing time and they terminated her. But here it is, we have the president and the financial secretary doing the exact same thing and nothing happened to them. So can the SMART board please assure me that we will get to the bottom of this and bring some kind of resolution to this, please? And then that's completely it. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good
My name is
afternoon.
Perry Mosley. I'm out of Oakland. I'm actually a steward at Oakland. Last speaker, he's not even a union member, so I don't even know what he's up here talking about the union for. Secondly, SMART has no business dealing with union issues other than the fact of the president and the financial secretary. I came here today to reiterate what Mr. Richardson said about the contract. I don't know if the board understands or knows what's going on with the contract, but it's a stall tactic. We've been stalled for 18 months. We're currently in fact finding for no reason other than SMART wants what they want. They know for sure if we go to fact finding, they'll get it. We began mediation in July of last year for no reason other than that's the first step of fact finding. So I'm asking the board, can you please be more involved in Mr. Farrell and his team to get this contract done in a fair way? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the audience like to comment? For the second time? Three time? Thank you. Now we move the agenda. We move to the chairman's report. I think I don't have any today. We move to the general manager, Mr. Farrell.
Is John Young here? Okay. Well, I wanted to acknowledge John's 25 years of service. He's our manager of employee and labor relations. He is leaving soon if he has not done so already. But John has been here, and John had wanted to leave 3 years ago, but he wanted to stay to help SMART negotiate his contracts. And so I wanted to make sure that we could commend him for that. But I also want to acknowledge that our very own Tiffany Martin Patterson has been appointed as the co-chair of the APTA Transit Board Administrators Program Committee and Bylaws Committee. So congratulations to her. And I would encourage the board, if they ever have an opportunity, to take advantage of the board members conference, one's coming up in July, or any of the APTA conferences that are coming up in the coming months. And with that, that concludes my report because we have a lot of other things that we need to be able to get to.
Any question from the board for Mr. Farrell? Seeing none, we move to operator of the year. You said he's here.
There they are.
Okay.
He's right over me. Good afternoon, members of the board. Deshaun Brownlee, who is our Vice President of Bus Operations, myself, Daniel West, Vice President of Paratransit and On-Demand Operations. Okay, thanks. We are here this afternoon to present to the board and to the members of the public the 2023 Fixed Route and Paratransit Operators of the Year. So this is the second year that we have presented Operators of the Year at each garage. There is a selection process for winners on both services. We had a number of runners up, and then we had 6 winners total, 3 from each side, 1 from each garage. So in attendance today, we have 4 of those 6. We'd like to take an opportunity to acknowledge them to the board and present them with a few awards. So we will start with the Oakland Terminal. Okay.
Fixed Route Operator of the Year for 2023, Gregory Smith.
Okay, Chairman, if you could stand against the blue wall. Gregory, if you could come back up. Okay. Now, the Oakland Terminal Paratransit Operator of the Year was promoted in March to a road supervisor role. And is unable to make it today. That winner is James Albert. So moving on to the Wayne Terminal, the Fixed Route Operator of the Year is Yolanda Myers. And unfortunately, she was not able to make it today as well. Today's her birthday. The Paratransit Operator of the Year for the Wayne Terminal is Russell Colvin Jr. Come on up, Russell.
Thank you.
We have our Macomb Fixed Route Operator of the Year for 2023, Desmond Harris.
So because of him, we're gonna have to change our process because his wife didn't want to be taken with his sticker. Because it was when we first started. We changed a little bit since then. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, board. Appreciate you all.
Now, the Macomb Terminal Paratransit Operator of the Year is going to Selcha Brown. So in addition to these wonderful plaques and pins that signify the Operator of the Year, the finalists will also receive pins at each terminal. Each of the winners will get to pick their own parking spot for the next year at the respectable terminals. And they underwent a photo shoot last Friday so that they can have their picture on their bus of their choosing that will be theirs for the year. So they will choose their bus and it's theirs for the entirety of the year. So thank you, members of the board and the public.
Okay. Item 10. BHR hiring update. Mr. Tiana. All yours.
Hello, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I am Tiana Leapart, and I'm here to present the hiring update. For the month of April 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2024. Okay, for the month of April 2024, fixed route operators we newly hired were 16. And for paratransit, it was 18 for a total of 34 new hires. On our fixed route side, which is bus operators, we have a total budgeted of 426 positions. 363 of those positions are filled, which means that we have a vacancy of 63 positions.
That's a net positive of 6 from last month.
Correct, which is a net positive of 6 from last month. In addition to that, on our paratransit side, we have a total of 142 budgeted positions. 127 of those positions are filled, which leaves a vacancy of 15 positions, which leaves us with a net positive of 5 from the previous month. That does conclude our hiring update, and I am available for any questions.
Motion receive and file, Mr. Chair.
Motion been made and supported.
I'll support it, Mr. Chairman.
And supported. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carried. Thank you, Tiana. Okay, now we move to Major Services Exchange, June 2024. Harmony Lloyd, thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I'm just going to quickly review some ridership statistics. And upcoming service changes. You want me to wait? All right. So we're looking at the first calendar year quarter of 2024. In January, we had 484,000 riders. February, 523,000, and March, 538,000. So a good increase from year over year for ridership. And then it's not on this slide, but hot off the press, I just got the numbers. As of yesterday, it was exactly 30 days that the Rochester route has been active. And we've had 5,684 riders on it. We're averaging between 200 and 250 riders a day. So for a brand new route, that's great to hear and shows what a demand there was in the community. And I'm confident it will continue to grow. Another ridership statistic, which you may have already seen in the news, but we wanted to share with you and celebrate. We had shuttles that we provided from the suburban areas to Detroit for the NFL draft. This was something new we were trying. We weren't sure how successful it would be, and it exceeded all our expectations. Over the course of the 3 days, we moved 28,252 riders. So a lot of people took advantage of using our shuttles, and we received only great feedback. Harmony. And can I go?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a question?
Go
No.
ahead.
Okay. Finally, this is our service change for June. The June run pick will start on June 24th. This is the 759. We're calling it the Highland Road route. This will be from Auburn Hills through Pontiac, Waterford, and White Lake Township along the M59 corridor. This is making a major connection and filling in a gap that has long existed with our service. It will operate every 50 minutes, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. weekdays, 8:15 to 5:45 p.m. on Saturdays. Some of the key destinations are Oakland University, McLaren Hospital, Pontiac Lake Meyer, Oakland County Airport, White Lake Marketplace. And it will really create that connection through the Phoenix Center for people to be able to get on other buses and transfer throughout the community. I can tell you we've worked closely with White Lake Township and Waterford Township officials, and they are thrilled to have us coming there, and it's been a great partnership, and we are excited to have it out there for riders. So with that, I will take any questions.
Any question for Harmony? Seeing none, no, thank you.
Motion received and filed, Mr. Chair.
Motion been made and
Support.
and supported. Any further discussion? Here none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carried. Now we move to the fun one, the financial report. Ryan? I hope you have
Thank you,
nothing
Mr.
but good
Chair.
news.
So the included in the board packet is the financial report for the third quarter of Smart's fiscal year. So that is ended March of this year. The financial results are largely similar to what we've seen recently. Smart continues to be under budget, which is largely a result of ongoing negotiations and staffing shortages. We expect that, or we are projecting that if those were not in place, we'd be approximately at budget. The other major change that you will notice in the financial report is that Smart did make a major contribution to the MERS pension fund, which drastically reduced our overall legacy liabilities. Other than that, it's largely similar to previous operating quarters, but I'm happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Motion received and filed, Mr. Chair.
Any support?
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Ryan. Job. Now, item 12A, resolution, retirement of Mark Jukanalaski. Mr. Monaco.
Yes, we have the, I think I'm on the right one, the retiring Mark Jagodinski, who has been our Lake Erie Transit Commission General Manager. Since I've been with County Monroe, we've only had 2 general managers at Lake Erie Transit. I did tell some of the members of the board that the first general manager, who was from Alaska, used to beat me every Saturday in a game of chess, which I never did beat him in the years that he was there as general manager. I never had the opportunity to play chess against Mark, but I look forward to that since I think he's going to stay in Bedford Township. His focus certainly has been on safety. The millages that we've passed certainly have allowed us to do a lot of innovative things in Monroe County. And we have done our advertising program, which I was fortunate enough to go to the APTA conference and on behalf of the board, along with all the other board members, accept the Adwheel Award for advertising. I never saw such a big smile on Mark's face as he was standing on the stage accepting that award, along with many other communities that didn't get it, and their frowns could be seen extremely well. They had a big board screen. It reminded me of Tiger Stadium, or it's not Tiger Stadium anymore. And it was a interesting, as each member got up, they were so large on the screen that it just is overwhelming at times. But anyway, we're gonna sad to see Mark go, and I've been talking to staff in regards to our agreement with SMART, and I think we'll be making some headway on that as we proceed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any question for Mr. Monaco? Seeing none,
Make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
I'll support it. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Monaco. Item 12B, adoption of the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, restricted operating budget, and the proposed fiscal year 2025, fiscal year 2029 capital budget. Ryan, all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hey, before Ryan gets started, I think that I was planning to make these comments, but unfortunately, some of my colleagues left, but I think it's appropriate to emphasize them at this point. I've been here almost 3 years, and the time I've been here, it has really been about moving SMART into the 21st century as it relates to being a transit authority. SMART has 3 product lines. It has bus service, what we call fixed route, line haul, and what have you. Those are dated terms. It's bus service, paratransit, which is service to the disabled, and we have microtransit or on-demand service. Ryan will go into this in greater detail as he makes his presentation. SMART's role is to be an economic driver for this region. It has to be sustainable and scalable. There's been obviously conversations about what Wayne County is going to do. That's not anything that SMART can control. That's not anything that SMART can control. However, we do have to be prepared to scale it if that does happen. And so we will certainly keep the board in the loop on that. The other thing that is significantly important is this is a customer-driven organization. It's not about the passengers, it's about the customers. There's a difference between the two. I'll draw a parallel between, if you're Delta, Delta has customers who use the plane for transportation, but they also have customers who use the plane for cargo. All customers that need whatever it is to be there timely and safely. So what we are talking about in the previous budgets since I've been here, and this budget is about everything we can do to improve customer service and satisfaction through continuous quality improvement. I can't stress that enough. Our community partnerships are but one example of an area that we are going to, that you'll hear about us putting emphasis on to improve the customer experience. The community partners are SMART's customers. They're not something that we just have to put up with. They are a customer to us, and we are going to treat them as such. So when I first came here, I talked to you about SMART being accountable, transparent, inclusive, sustainable, and valued. Well, I want to take to heart what some of my coworkers said today about what they consider to be deficiencies in maintenance and operations. That's my responsibility. The buck stops here. I got it and I understand it. I'm not going to get into, well, we've done this and we've done that. That's irrelevant. Their concerns are legitimate, and those are concerns that we will address. Straightforward. So as Ryan makes his presentation, I may interject more, but I will also tell you that as part of this presentation, and you'll hear it up front, one of the biggest things was the establishment of a safety department. We did not have a safety department 3 years ago. We've added staff positions to help improve in that space. We have a general planning consultant here. Part of their task is to identify bus stops. And where should they be? We have over 6,000 bus stops in this service area. And quite frankly, we don't know where all of them are, but we are going to. And this board at some point will adopt standards to determine what should be at a bus stop, shelter, bench, whatever. All of those are things that are going to be covered as part of this 24-25 budget. The issue of maintenance. And when we do the state of SMART, I'll talk about this in greater detail. To the credit of the people who are here and who are leading these areas, all of them relatively new to positions, but not new to SMART. And so I want the board to understand the emphasis that we're also going to be placing on workforce development and training. So I could go on. I don't want to steal all of Ryan's thunder, but I want to make sure that the board understands that we're talking about moving an organization into the 21st century that wasn't there at the time I got here. What?
The no standards conversation you're setting before.
Oh, so I'll give you the best example that I can give. But anybody out there understands, and I'll help you if you don't. If you take on a project for an existing house, or you want to rehab anything, there are typically something called as-built. An as-built is something that tells you how it was built. SMART didn't have it. So this is like going in and trying to rehab a house where you first have to identify how it was built before you can fix it. So the budgets that have happened and taken place since I've been here, and this budget here is one of those things that built on it. I want to stress the fact that Ryan said that this budget is balanced and sustainable. That assumes that if we fill every position, we still got the money to do it. A lot of times when you're under budget, you can hide things. We're not hiding anything. So the SMART, there was a SMART on September the 19th is not the same SMART that it became on September 20th, 2021. I want to be real clear about that. And the last thing I want to comment on is it relates to workforce development. SMART can't function without people. Period. Bus operators, mechanics, bus cleaners, and what have you. I'm not going to get into what we've offered on the contract, but the contract that we've offered is historic in terms of wages. The reason why we offered a compensation that was an hourly rate as opposed to a bonus was because you could leverage it for overtime. You could make more money with our proposal than what anybody else has offered. So my point is if you're going to talk something, know your facts. I was a bus operator. I know what it's like to do that job. I also know from 44 years of experience, what it took to what somebody wanted when I was 23 is not what somebody wants at 23 today. And so the proposal, the changes that we proposed so that we could attract and retain talent. Now, I may get in trouble for this, but you know what, so be it. Last comment. The current pension process that we have as a 10-year vest. If you quit in the 9th year, you get your 10 years of contribution and a little interest. Is that right, Ryan?
Yes.
You don't get any of the contribution to Smart Make. If you had the same 10 years in what we offered, you get all of the money. If you work here 5 years, you're fully vested. In fact, you vest 20% a year for the first 5. Now, I'll come back to you and tell you how many people actually work more than 10 years now. So you see my point? We're not talking about taking a pension away from not a human being here. Ryan and his leadership helped us pay down the pension deficit to what, 95%?
Approximately, yeah.
That funded those historic 32% increases that we offered. That's all in this budget. So the people who are listening on Zoom and whoever it is out there, you can tell them that Dwight Farrell said it. This is a place where I want people to work. I could go down a laundry list of things that we have done without being asked for, like providing uniforms to new employees when they get out of training, tuition reimbursement, increase from $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 if you're working on a master's in this budget. Helping you repay your school loans in this budget. That wasn't negotiated. That was just done.
And 32% the pay increases across board.
Across the board. Whoever negotiates the best deal, everybody gets. There isn't this union got 2%, this union got 3%. No.
It's fair enough.
Now, we don't offer flexible spending accounts, which in my mind is unheard of, but we will. We're not asking anybody to negotiate that or pay for it. Nobody asked for it. We're volunteering it right here in this budget. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ryan and let it be the Ryan show. And does anybody have any questions of me?
Well, I think you did a good job on addressing those issues and answer some of the questions. So now we'll see what's Ryan gonna.
All right,
tell us
thank
next.
you, Dwight. So I'll touch on a couple of things that Dwight had mentioned there. We did have the budget committee a little over an hour ago. I'll try and be a little more brief, just because we did go through this with the budget committee in a little more detail. But the first comment that we did touch on is that we expect this budget to be sustainable into the future, so long as our funding sources remain. So as long as we're going to get that millage revenue, so long as the state is still supporting us, we expect this budget to be sustainable. The budget for the current year is also balanced. We have no projected deficit spending at this time. What you can expect out of this budget is similar service to what we have planned right now or scheduled right now at 100% capacity. So as we do have an ongoing driver shortage, we're not running 100% of our planned or scheduled service. This budget does provide us to get to those the full driver mechanics amounts. We are planning a transition to break out the paratransit and demand response groups. Those services are not the same. They don't operate the same. We are using commingled resources at the moment, but as we move into future years, being able to track those and report on those separately will be very helpful.
This goes back to the compliance issue that we talked about. We're supposed to be reporting paratransit and fixed route, regular bus service miles separately. We're working to be able to do that now because we have not been doing that effectively up to this point.
I do want to take a few minutes to touch on a couple of areas of focus that we have in this year's budget. There are a couple of overarching things, some of which Dwight mentioned. Service reliability and customer service are inherent in everything that we're planning on doing in fiscal year 2025. You'll also hear as we go through this list, these are by no means functional silos. They're very interrelated. So in each one of these is going to have a component of making sure that we are continuously improving and bringing the resources to bear to make sure that we are the most effective and efficient transit authority that we can be, making sure that we're using our systems and data appropriately, as well as making sure that we are responsible in our financial management. With regard to workforce development, we can't do anything at all without operators and mechanics. Now, the board has heard over the years, or over the last year rather, many of the things that we're doing with regard to ongoing recruitment, as well as making sure that we are retaining employees. Those efforts continue, and in many cases are going to be expanded in the fiscal year 25 budget. Additionally, in there, we have ongoing training for existing employees to make sure that our current workforce is the most effective and efficient and safe workforce, excuse me, that it can be. With regard to workforce development, this budget includes several new staff positions to make sure that we have the resources available to review all of our critical workflows and processes, and make sure that our staff are trained correctly in systems to make sure that we're leveraging them effectively. This also includes working with outside consultants if and when necessary. But it's just getting back to continuous improvement, making sure that we are reviewing and have a culture of continuous improvement. And this budget allows for the positions to be able to do that. In order for us to get to that area, though, we have to make sure that we have the systems in place at SMART to develop our current staff. So making sure that we have the appropriate training programs, that we're providing the appropriate training opportunities for staff, as well as having the appropriate coaching, mentoring programs, as well as having formal staff evaluations so that we can have goal setting and making sure people are progressing in their careers. One of the things that we have budgeted for is a consultant to help us put together standard operating procedures just to exactly do those things. We take very seriously that this needs to be a place that people want to work. You've seen many of the programs that we've put in place that related to staff recognition. Operator of the Year just today. We've got the 25-year bus. We want to make sure we continue those efforts and make sure that this is a place that people want to work. The second major area that we're focusing on is safety. Dwight alluded to us creating a completely separate safety department so that we have people on site every day, that is their sole focus. This is a cultural shift, so we are making sure that is just inherent in the everyday activities at SMART. So this budget brings resources to bear to make that happen. Safety and workforce development overlap a lot, making sure that we have drivers who know how to drive defensively, how to drive safely, and making sure that we have the correct retraining of folks at the correct interval to make sure people stay up to date. We're bringing resources to bear and having the staff available to really take the time to analyze our incident data. The focus there is to help us figure out where we need to improve and what can we do. How do we design our trainings and our safety procedures to really like where are the blind spots? That's a better way to put it. Now these, all of these programs are simply just the right thing to do. Safety is paramount in public transportation. This is also an investment in SMART's future. Now, we won't see it immediately, but the cost of safety incidents is humongous, and not just in claims. Down service, hurt people, damaged property, missing service, it's humongous, and the list goes on. The second and third order effects are unquantifiable. This is a massive number that we're talking about. So there will be a return on investment with many of these programs. Getting to the reliability aspect that we've been talking about, SMART in this budget has planned additional staff and outside resources to make sure we have the most effective and efficient maintenance shop and maintenance maintenance operations. Our plan over the next year is to review all workflows, standard operating procedures, make sure our staff have the right tools in the right spot to help them effectively and efficiently repair buses and diagnose problems on buses. This gets to that reliability aspect. If we know something's wrong ahead of time and we fix it, you're going to have less of those breakdowns. We've also updated our preventative maintenance schedule to bring it in line with manufacturers' recommendations so that we are expecting to have significantly less breakdowns in the future.
And just to add to that, in the board package, we have a contract that we're asking the board to award to a maintenance consultant that will help us deal with just what we're talking about here. So it's not just us flipping a switch. We're going to need some help to do it.
None of this is going to happen unless we leverage our systems appropriately. So this budget does call for some additional training resources for folks so that they can better utilize system data to help us identify those areas where maybe things aren't working quite right. It also is going to help us implement standardized review measures. So standard labor hours. Hey, if something's taking longer than it should, let's identify what we think it really should take, or and help us analyze cost per task. And again, it's just part of the ongoing evaluation to make sure that we're staying on top and managing properly the maintenance shop. We have another system implementation as it relates to parts inventory. The key here is making sure we have the right parts and more importantly, at the right time. There is no value to a part sitting on the shelf. It's money tied up. It can go obsolete. It can go missing. It can break. But also at the same time, making sure we have the resources available to make sure that we can keep buses on the road. So really analyzing the lead times, really figuring out what level of inventory we need, because that money sitting on the shelf doesn't help anybody. Lastly, we are implementing several positions as it relates to warranty analysis to help us recover funds as parts are defective, things break down, helping us figure that out and then recoup funds from manufacturers with regard to that, because there's not a part that we buy that doesn't have some sort of warranty. Oh, I misspoke. There's one more item. We do have additional resources and additional parts as it relates to a fleet assessment, just to help us get up to a standard operating level. We've talked a lot about facilities. One of the things we're looking at in this upcoming year is making sure that Smart's facilities are up to snuff so that we have a good platform to take us into the future. We have several positions to help us be compliant as it relates to all of our FTA funding. If we're going to ask for major additional grants from the federal government, we need to make sure that we are flawless with our compliance with all of their rules, including EEO, ADA, substance abuse checking, financial requirements, procurement requirements. You've heard over the last year a ton on all of the planning initiatives we have going on, fleet transition, smarter mobility, the general planning consultant that's coming on time that's helping us with a variety of programs. The last big thing that I do want to take just 1 minute and talk about is the additional resources we're going to be utilizing for community partner coordination. This is a fleet of over 300 buses that our community partners utilize. Making sure that that is being utilized properly as well as effectively. We are creating a new group of 3 new positions and as well as a maintenance position to focus on just monitoring community partners as well as helping on the transaction level. So making sure contracting happens correctly, reimbursements happen correctly, reporting that they know exactly what they need to do. So having the resources available to help them with all of these voluminous requirements.
Correctly and timely.
I don't have too many other comments for the board. You do have a copy of this smart budget. It's $173 million. So we have definitely grown over the years. I am happy to dive into more detail, but these are the things that we are really focusing on for fiscal year 25.
Any question for Ryan? John?
Mr. Chair, if I may, the budget subcommittee met prior to this meeting and just want to applaud Ryan and the entire financial team's efforts. Also to General Manager Farrell and Tiffany for helping not only put together this robust spending plan. As noted, balanced and sustainable are good things when you're talking about the budget, but I think another word that we put in there is aspirational, with the tremendous investments that we're making in microtransit, the commitment to our community providers, and a number of other expansions that are happening throughout the system. So I would proudly make a motion to approve the adoption of the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, restricted operating budget, and the proposed fiscal year 2025 to fiscal year 2029 capital budget as presented.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion or question? Mr. Monaco?
I know at Lake Erie Transit, we had a letter come in from MDOT, which kind of raised a couple of eyebrows relative to reimbursement rates. And let me go back a little bit. As I understand, we're supposed to get 50%, I think it's 50% urban. Is it 40% rural?
Up to 50% urban and 60% non-urban.
And we've been averaging probably 30% from the state.
It's a little lower than 30% for urban, a little higher than 30% for rural.
Okay. And the targets, the letter that I saw at Lake Erie Transit said the targets might be lower this year in question. Have we gotten any firm numbers relative from MDOT relative to the budget?
We have an estimate. The reimbursement rate for urban is 26% and 30% for non-urban.
Okay, so that's a decrease. They anticipated. Okay. Any other question? Seeing none, motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carried. Thank you. Item C, authorization to file and execute application, contract and amendment for Smart Fiscal Year 2025 annual application for Michigan Capital and Operating Financial Assistance.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion, anything, Ryan?
Just this finance department is recommending that we execute the fiscal year 25 MDOT annual application. This is the application that we make to the state that allows us to do all of our local operating assistance, as well as the capital items that the state helps us out with our 20% match for. Happy to answer any questions.
Any other question? Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item D, fiscal year 2025 municipal credit, community credit, and purchase of service agreement. Those receiving 50,000 or greater.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I'll support it. Motion been made and supported. Any question? Just on the last page of that item, I think there's a duplicate chart that I pointed out to.
There is.
For Monroe County. There's two charts exactly the same, so one of them has to be removed. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carry. Item E, resolution authorization to award a contract for financial audit.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any question on that? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item F, authorization to enter into an interlocal agreement with Oakland County for veterans transportation services.
I'll support it.
Motion been made and supported. Any question on that? Just one question for Oakland County. Does the Michigan Works still have a veterans coordinator for job opportunities and stuff? I know we do in Monroe, and I'm just curious. Yeah, they do.
There's a Veterans Navigator Program.
Well, I think this is a great program. Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, motion carried. Okay, item G, contract amendment number 1, authorization to enter into 5-month extension for third-party administrator services for vehicle and general liability.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any question for Amy? No. Okay, no question. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
That was for Laura.
Laura, I'm sorry. There's no question anyway. I'm sorry. Okay.
That's Amy.
No, Amy.
Yes, that's Amy. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I apologize.
Good afternoon.
No, good afternoon.
I think we still got to vote on G. Yeah.
All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, motion carry. Now we go to item H, authorization to award a contract for insurance broker services and estimated insurance premium. Now it's Amy.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and board members. Staff recommends board approval of the resolution authorizing the purchase of insurance broker services and estimated insurance premiums to Arthur J. Gallagher and Company in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, for a 3-year contract beginning July 1, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2027, with 2 one-year renewal options at a cost not to exceed $250,500 for the 3 years and $421,500 for 5 years. Estimated premiums at a cost not to exceed $11,165,906 for 3 years and $20,594,858 for 5 years. This assumes an estimated 10% increase annually in premiums for years 2 through 5. The broker will represent the authority in the purchase of various insurance coverages and will purchase on our behalf.
Any
So moved, Mr.
question
Chair.
for Amy?
Staff is available for any questions.
Okay,
In support.
motion been made and supported. Any discussion?
Just a
Mr.
question.
Monaco.
With the experience that we had, say, over the last 5 years, what's been the average annual increase?
10%.
10%.
That was the, hence the reason for the safety department,
Yes.
because unchecked, it would have taken up a greater portion of the budget. So as Ryan mentioned, it's it's a long lead time item, but this puts us in the right direction of trying to reduce that number. Because that's money that could be going to service.
Okay, now motion been made and supported. There are no other question. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item I, contract amendment number 1, authorization for additional seat licensing and continuation of managed support for customer relationship management software. Mr. Parker.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, board members, Mr. Farrell, Ms. Gunter.
Let me get the motion first. Yes.
Sorry,
Support.
I was out the gate.
Brett made a motion. I support.
Okay, motion been made and supported. Mr. Parker.
Thank you. I am before you today to ask for an authorization to enter into a contract amendment number 1 for 7 additional seats for continuation of CRM software, specifically with Spiridian Technologies. On July 23rd, 2020, Smart entered into a 5-year contract for CRM software and is valid until October 31st, 2025. Currently, there are 25 seats total being utilized. The amendment number 1 is a not to exceed amount of $59,426.39 and begins on June 1st, 2024 through October 31st, 25, if approved. It should be noted, the additional seats are needed for the paratransit department due to an increase in staff. This gives the staff the ability to access SMART's complaints, training, and analytical reporting and ongoing maintenance. To date, should you approve the contract number 1, the total cost of the contract will be $505,000, $331.39.
Any question?
Any
for Mr.
questions?
Parker, how many additional seats?
7.
There are no other question. Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, motion carry. Next item, okay. Resolution, authorization to award a contract for office supply, office-related product.
Okay, again, hello, sir.
Hold on. Let's get the
Before
motion.
you, for authors,
Supported. Motion been made and supported. Mr. Parker. You're getting faster in your old age. Good job.
Okay, Carmen Tucker.
Next item.
Before you to ask for authorization to award a contract for office supplies and office-related products. This is a particular ask for Staples. The contract is essential. It allows SMART to order office supplies and other related products such as small furniture, chairs, desks, bookcases, and the like. The duration of the contract is for 3 years, plus a 3 one-year option renewal at a cost not to exceed $210,000 for 3 years and $420,000 for the 6-year total of the contract. The state of Michigan awarded this contract and it meets all clauses required through the FTA. In fact, the FTA encourages the use of interlocal agreements. SMART began using this particular contract with Staples in February of 2022. The current option year of this contract will expire in May 31st, 2024. Any questions?
Any question for Mr. Parker? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, next item, authorization to award a contract for maintenance assessment plan consultant services.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion been made and supported. Juan?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Smarts Board members. It is the recommendation on behalf of the Smarts Maintenance Department that the board adopt the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for maintenance assessment plan consulting services to Lone Star Transit Assessment Management. This is a 3-year contract with no renewal options at a cost not to exceed $234,000. Why are we doing this? To improve operational efficiency, educate staff, update processes and procedures, and create a reliable fleet to meet promises of our schedule. Any questions?
Any question for Mr. Burt?
Really excited for this. Let's go in.
Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item L, authorization to award a contract for propane auto gas for the paratransit fleet.
So moved.
I'll support it.
Motion been made and supported. Mr. Burt?
Yes, it's the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for propane auto gas to be used in our paratransit fleet. To Webster and Garner, this is a 1-year contract beginning in June 1st, 2024 through May 31st, 2025, with no renewal at a cost not to exceed $1,002,000.
Any question? Not, motion been made and supported. All those who agree, Mr. Monaco.
What, is it like $1.22 per gallon for propane?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
This is the next.
how many vehicles do we have?
We currently have 120 paratransit vehicles.
And we fuel at each terminal?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other question? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item M. Certification for payment of service rendered and approval of contract amendment number 1 to increase funding for employment advertising services. Leafhart?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Support.
Motion been made and supported.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I am asking the board to ratify SMART's contract with Q&M Agency for the payment of $29,410 for services rendered between April and May 2024. I am also asking the board to authorize the increase of the not to exceed amount from $335,000 to $464,410. This includes the aforementioned $29,410 and an additional $90,000 for the remainder of the contract period that ends February 2025. SMART uses Q&M to advertise online, social media, print, billboards, commercials, and radio ads for bus operators, paratransit operators, mechanics, and bus cleaners. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any question? Sweetheart? Saying none, seeing none, motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 13, we go to closed session.
Mr. Chairman, motion to move into closed session to discuss labor matters.
Support. Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we go to closed session.
Need a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Chairman Haddad,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson JP Reyes, Ms. Sheila Cote.
Yes.
Mr. Royce Manico.
Yes.
Ms. Hillary Chambers, Mr. Burt Reyes again. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if there's no other board member business, I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.